Hey, it's another episode of What's the Word Wednesday, where we do our very best to try to motivate you, encourage you, inspire you, and lift you up. Give you some everyday practical nuggets that you can use for your business. Hey, let's go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're right back here with you. Another episode of What's the Word Wednesday, a special episode because normally we are on first and third Wednesdays, but because we had to postpone last Wednesdays, and we won't be here on first Wednesday. My daughter's graduating, so we'll be tied up. We didn't want to wait an entire month before we had the next episode. So what's up, everybody? Again, I am Eric Clifton. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Sir, I have lost connection. I'm having issues with my.
Got issues with you, but we can hear you. What's going on?
I know you can hear me. So, can you see me?
We can see you too.
Really?
We were just listening for you to say who you was, so tell the people who you are.
This is Roger the Dodger Lillard, one-star director.
What's going on, sir? You can't hear us?
Well, I can hear you, but I can't see anything. It's interesting y'all can see me.
I'm not gonna say nothing. We're gonna set up a GoFundMe for your computer situation. Is what we're gonna do. A GoFundMe for your computer situation. Go ahead and work on that.
There we go. There we go.
People who are jumping on with us. What's up, Renee? I see Dovera. Who is that? I need glasses now. Vernetta. Danielle, what's up? Welcome, Shayna Marsh. Is your system working over there, Mr. Lillard?
I'm back up. I'm back.
You're back. Good. Go ahead and give us some announcements really quickly while people are jumping in. Go ahead and let your business partners know that we are live in the building right now. Special What's the Word Wednesday. Go ahead with some announcements, sir.
All right, well, welcome everybody. If you're brand new, this is What's the Word Wednesday. And of course, we always give us some announcements before we jump right into our training on tonight. This will give you an opportunity to some of you all to, tag some of your friends and invite some of your friends on here. That's part of the network that's not on here. Get them in here because we got a good training tonight. So first announcement, of course, you want to make sure that everybody's plugged in to Platinum Network so they can get this What's the Word training every first and third Wednesday. This is a special edition because we weren't able to go live last week, so we're here on this week to make up for last week. Also, every single Sunday night at 8 p.m., our fearless leader, Mr. Preston Scott, 4-star director, 6-figure ring earner, does a training right in Platinum Network game plan called Don't Want to Miss That. You don't want to miss that at all. Also, we have our local meeting every first and third Tuesday night. If you have not been, you want to go support that. People that are coming out are getting involved right away. So that's at the Harborside Hotel in Oxon Hill, Maryland. So if you're in the DMV, you don't want to miss that as well. Next up, we got Super Saturday coming up June. What is that, Eric? I know we have on August 13th, our CEO and founder Donna Brown is going to be here August 13th. Definitely put that on your calendar. If you're 4 hours away, get here. Fly, drive, trains, planes, automobiles, however you can do it, get here August 13th. Our CEO is going to be. We have a Super Saturday coming up June, I think it's 12th. June 12th. Somebody,
Absolutely.
One of our directors typed that in there for us.
Mr. Lillard, I forgot myself. We need to get your ticket. I know you just released the tickets are being available as well. So if you had that date, if you don't have it, someone put it in the chat what the date is, or send me a message so we can let the group know what the date is. Is that it for
the last two? We have a team retreat in November. Listen, this is where we get to go and fellowship. We get to break bread. We get to let our hair down. We don't talk no business. We don't, and we will talk some business, but at the end of the day, we get to talk about what we want to talk about, and that's going to be in November. I believe it's the second week of November. Um, Again, that's for all the Team Platinum to join. I believe you could bring some folks too as well. And then, last but not least, convention. I was told that June 18th. I saw that. I was told that we only have 85 tickets left. I think that was yesterday. If you want to attend the convention, and that's our announcements for tonight.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
So, speaking of conventions, before we jump into the actual training that we're going to talk about on this evening, the process, over the weekend, a few of us were able to go to the Seven Figure School and, break bread rub elbows with some of our fellow business partners and hear from multi-million dollar earner, business man, mogul himself, Mr. Holton Buggs. And we have this evening one of our business partners who was able to attend that actual event. And we're always talking about, listen, guys, you want to make sure you can get out there and attend every event that you're qualified to attend. And she made it out to this event. So we want to get, some of her feedback as to how that event went from. Getting ready to bring her up on the call. And those of you guys who are watching live, you're not able to jump on with us right now. If you were actually at that event, feel free to put your comments into the comment section so we can highlight them. But give me 1 second as I add to the stream Miss Jessica. Hey, Miss Jessica.
Hello there. How are you?
We are super fantastic. Miss Jessica, what city and state are you out of?
So I'm in Maryland. So I'm representing the DMV area.
All right. You're representing the DMV. Now, from a company standpoint, what position do you currently hold?
So I will be completely transparent. I just got started with the business a couple months ago. And I've already attended a Super Saturday. I've attended a lot of events just in the short time span that I've been with the company. So I will say Saturday was an awesome event for me as a newbie, I'll say, because, when you get in the room with different people who think different, who make different, who earn different, who believe different, it definitely catapults you and motivates you. So this weekend was nonetheless, even just being in the atmosphere with Mr. Buggs. And, again, I remember him mentioning he made like $22 million just from one stream of income. And I'm thinking to myself, that's just one stream. So your conversations are going to look different. And just the highlights of what he was saying made me realize that I'm in the right place, doing the right thing. If I ever had a question, and then to also be able to see Mr. Bradley and him collaborate on the level that they were, both being moguls in the same industry, different businesses, but collaborating and feeding into each other. It was just, my heart was so full when I left, a lot of information. And again, being new, I got to meet a lot of people in the business this weekend in Atlanta. The weather was beautiful. Food was good. So I truly enjoyed my time and would definitely advise anyone to attend any events, any personal development opportunities, professional development opportunities that are out there. So I'm just appreciative.
This is amazing. So listen, I couldn't have asked for a better person to jump on this evening anyway. Now what's mind-boggling for me is you're pretty much brand new. I can see, Roger, can you smell the Similac behind her ear? It's right there. Right there. That's how new you are. And you just told us you was being transparent. Listen, you stepping on some toes. You're brand new, not even 90 days in the business, and you already attending Super Saturdays, presentations, and I don't know if you flew, drove, plane, train, however you got down to Atlanta from the DMV and made it to a 7-figure school. I salute you. And listen, that's huge. Mr. Lillard always says, you can purchase this business, right? I'm paraphrasing, right? Ultimately, what he's saying is Planet Marketing isn't in you until you start attending these events.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Mm-hmm.
paraphrasing of what he said, right?
Mm-hmm.
He probably gonna tell it better. But ultimately, how do you feel now having on multiple occasions, how do you feel about the culture and environment and importance of other people, especially some of the old people who have never been to a Super Saturday, never attended, yet alone a 6-figure or 5-figure school? You went to the 7-figure school. So how important do you feel it is moving forward for your mindset, for your business, everything?
So I'll say, so I worked in corporate America for over 11 years in healthcare. And then in 2020, I started my own business. So I have a hospitality business and I do some other things with rental cars, short-term rentals. And I will say that being a business owner, I've seen the struggle. I worked in corporate, done the 9-to-5, been a business owner, and I have a 6-figure company. But the culture that Mr. Bradley has created within just this company alone is, when I say remarkable, and just being able to be attached and like have millionaires' numbers in my phone, right? People who are already making seven figures. I have my director's number and we chat and text. And honestly, Mr. Scott motivated me that morning. I was like, I don't really know what to expect. He's like, just come with an open mind, and be available, be coachable, be willing to learn. So at the end of the day, it's like, I realized I invested a lot of money in my own businesses. This is, and I say in the most humblest way possible, it's kind of like a business in a box. Like I didn't have to like do the marketing. I didn't have to search for the people. I didn't have to do a lot of stuff that I'm still struggling in. And I've been working in my personal business for over 2 years, right? And so I was able to jump in, and I feel like I'm a reader. I love to read books. And when my business mentor introduced me and I noticed that she was reading, I was like, you know what, at the end of the day, if I don't do anything to be able to attach and, pull on the coattails of some of these people who are already doing things that I want to do, my monthly membership or whatever it is that I pay to be a part of it is so worth it. Honestly, whatever the membership is for the year, I would have paid that to go to the meeting on Saturday, because again, once you get in the room with people who are moving and shaking and they're not just single, they're multi-millionaires, conversations are just different. We didn't talk about the same things this weekend that I talk about when I hang out with my girlfriends and we go, we hanging out in the house, chilling on FaceTime or whatever. The conversation was just different. The attitude, I'll be honest, some points I was sitting there like, ooh, that kind of hurt a little bit. But then I had to realize, when you haven't seen that kind of money and you don't make that kind of money residually, you don't understand completely we all got problems, but their problems just look a little different, right? And they're handled a little different because they come from a different platform. So my grandmother just tell me something: when you know better, you do better, right? So, but how do you know better? You get in a room with people who are doing better. If you're the smartest person in your circle, then you in the wrong circle. So I flew to Atlanta, had a layover. Like it was just like a horrible traveling situation. But honestly, and then my flight was delayed coming back. But I will say that the gems that I got this weekend and the motivation that I got was priceless. And again, being able to sit down and break bread with people who are ahead of where you're trying to go, they're already down that journey, and hearing their stories and stuff, you can't pay for that stuff. So it was wonderful.
Absolutely.
I'm chomping at the bit.
I know you are, Mr. Little. I can see it all across your forehead. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, you're not even 90 days in and already jumped out there understanding the importance of it. I know you got a question for Mr. Little. Go ahead.
First and foremost, Jessica, I want to say congratulations, and I'm truly proud of you. Keep that same fire, that same desire. You know what I mean? Don't ever give that up, because that's going to get you far in this business, right? And so, what I've gotten out of what you said this evening is, right, listen to this. You haven't been here but less than 90 days, right? Mm-hmm. And you're from Maryland. You live in Maryland, right? Mm-hmm. And so, we have people that have been in our team or in this company for 5.5 years, right? And I hear people say, well, I can't find anyone. And you've been sitting there, diamond in the rough all this time. And so you are proof that there are still people out here that are looking for opportunity. And all we have to do is open our mouths and say hello. How you doing? Do you travel? Something simple. I don't know who your sponsor is, but they are blessed. I will say that. They're blessed.
Let her shout her sponsor out. Go ahead. Who's that sponsor?
I was in the. I don't know if she's in here or not, but Latasha Turner is my sponsor.
Okay, we know. Yeah. We know Latasha Turner.
It's so funny. I was actually in jury duty today, and I was standing in line just to get into the courthouse, and just started talking to this lady because my passion for one is women, and more specifically single mothers, Black and brown women, because I am one, and I know the struggle, and being a business owner, being from the South, not really knowing about business, but then moving to this area and seeing that there's no ceiling on what you can make, and what you can do with yourself. So I'm standing in line talking to this lady, and she was like, just talking to me. And it's so easy because it's so funny. Mr. Scott said something to me this weekend. He was like, every person you meet is an opportunity, right? And so I just started talking to her, and she was just so floored because she was like, oh, you're so young, and I see your ambition and your passion. She was like, so what do you do? And I started telling her about I own a bookstore. I got a lot of stuff going on. Then the thing that caught her attention though was I'm a travel agent. And so she said, oh yeah, so how'd you get into that? And I explained I do short-term rentals and I do rental cars, and it just kind of made sense, a part of my package deal that I can offer my clients, being able to book trips for them as well. And I didn't have to pitch nothing to her. She just saw the value and was like, so how do I become a part of this? Like, I want to sign up. And I was talking about the 7-figure school and just the people that, I met, and the little bit of time, the connections that I've made. Even meeting Natalie Graham at the in New York at one of the I think it was the Blackout or something event I went to, and just talking to her about the things that I've been experiencing in this small short frame of time. And she's in her 50s, and she's like, if I knew what I knew, what at 30s, in your 30s, I would be something serious. And I'm like, but you know what? It's never too late. It's never too late. So I have a new business partner as of today.
Congratulations. So I do have a question. I do have a question.
Before your question, did you hear her? Did you hear her casually throw in how she also went to the Blackout in New York?
I did.
You're not playing, man.
Yeah. She ain't been in 90 days.
90 days. Mm-hmm. There are people out here that are looking for opportunity, and we're walking by them. And I always say this: the person that you think won't will, and the person that you think will won't. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we have to talk to everyone if they're in touching distance, especially we get eye contact. We're out and about, mm-hmm. Even online. If someone holds a conversation with me, they have to know what I do, exactly. Right? And so here's the question: mm-hmm. At the 7-figure school, because I wasn't able to attend. Mm-hmm. So what was? Give me one thing that it was an aha moment that hit you, and it's. That you can use this for the rest of your career with us here at Planet Marketing. Like, what's one thing that you get out of you'll never forget it?
So for me, I'm a type A. I'm a 1 + 1 will always equal 2 for me. You gotta numbers make sense, right? And so he kept throwing out a lot of numbers, and one set of numbers he threw out was Mr. Buggs, he threw out, I was living in my condo and I was paying, $23,000 a month. Now I live in my house or wherever I'm living and I pay $55,000 a month. And that's like, ding, ding, ding. Like, one, you can't live somewhere and afford to pay thousands of dollars anywhere, you know what I'm saying, in a normal 9-to-5 job. That's just not going to happen, right? So you have the importance of having multiple streams of income, but then also just, he said something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing of, we all make time for what we want to make time for, right? And, he had to give up some things. And that's why I said some of the things he said, I was even taking it back. He was like, I had to ask my family, can you give me 6 months to be a terrible husband, a terrible father, a terrible brother, a terrible uncle? As a mom, a woman, I wear many, many hats. Like I'm an older sister of 7. I have a child. And I'm single, and I take care of my mom. I do a lot of things, and I would, sometimes get offended. Like, that's my pride and joy. I could never do that to my child. But he made me realize in his conversation, it was like a light bulb came on. If you can let me be 10 toes down for 6 months and even a book that I'm reading, I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's the 10 Distinctions or it's one of the books he talks about the 90-day commitment. I don't if you guys can remind me, but if you can commit to something for me, I need 66 months to lay aside a lot of the other distractions and things that I have going on. I'm gonna be at that table with them sooner rather than later, because when I put my mind to something, I do it. I do it. But you can't always worry about what other people may think and how they may view you, because I'm sure it. And also, the other piece was he talked about how he was in multi-level marketing businesses. Like, he didn't just jump out there and wasn't a millionaire the first time he tried. He failed and moved from company to company and failed and built up teams, and then things fell apart. But perseverance was a thing. If you want to be a 7-figure earner, you have got to persevere. You can make you name your number. You put that number out in the atmosphere. I believe in wholly that God will provide whatever you ask. He told us he would give us the desires of our heart. And whatever the desires of your heart is, you have to go for it. So mine is, now I've heard the 7-figure conversation. I'm trying to go to the 8-figure. Look, if I'm gonna go the whole way, go the long way. So he said so many good things, but mostly perseverance is key. Even when things don't look fun and it's not easy, and it's not easy always talking to people. I get tired of talking to people. I have businesses that I talk all the time, but a lot of times you really don't know. My grandmother used to say this: you never know when you're entertaining an angel, right? And so sometimes you may not even know when you're entertaining somebody who just needs something, another thing to hold on to, something else to be a part of, something to make them feel involved in, something for somebody to get up for in the morning, honestly, sometimes. And who am I to rob them of that blessing? So I just talk about what I do and who I am, and I will always do that. And so as long as I'm a part of Planet Marketing, that's going to be a part of my story. And I just want to be able to bless people. That's my thing.
I love it. Who am I to rob people of that blessing? Mr. Leonard, did you hear that one?
I wrote down a ton of notes on what she was saying, so I have some things to run off. But I know you probably.
Real quickly before we transition into actually, what we were going to talk about on this evening, the last thing I want you to touch on, Houghton Bugs talked about over the weekend, was the difference between your circle and your corner.
Ooh.
So if you could just go ahead and expound on the importance of knowing the difference and being able to identify the people, I guess, in your circle versus in your corner, or just really just give your takeaway from that, because most of the people listening weren't there. So go ahead, your circle versus your corner.
So, my grandmother was a very wise person. She used to always say to me too, birds of a feather flock together, right? And so when he was talking, Mr. Bradley asked him to explain his circle versus his corner. And it's so true. Lots of people can be in your circle. And this is Mr. Bug, me paraphrasing what he said, but my interpretation of what he said. Lots of people can be in your circle, because you may just be in my circle because we're the same race, or we go to the same church, or we live in the same town. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're in my corner, because your people who are in your corner are going to be loyal to you. They're going to have your back. And, it's so important to identify who's just in your circle and who's around, so they can eat with you and that kind of thing. But it really, when your car run out of gas, I've seen this thing on Instagram not too long ago. When your car run out of gas, you'll know who your friends are when your car run out of gas, because the ones who are in your corner are going to be back there helping you push that car to the gas station to get there, right? And you need those people, because, again, we're always pouring out. Pouring. And when you're pouring out so much, if you pour too much and you pour from any bottle, it's eventually going to be empty. So the people in your corner are so valuable, because those are going to be the people that's going to pour back into you and pick you up and tell you can do it. And when you have a business, I've learned this the hard way. You need people in your corner to make you get up, to hold you accountable, to tell you, I don't think that's a good idea. But I feel like people in your circle are your yes men. The people just say, yeah, because they think that's what makes you happy, or that's what you want to hear. But your circle will drive you insane. Like, if you don't really keep an eye on who in your circle, and he made it so clear of, there's certain core people that you got to have around you, i.e. Mr. Bugs and Mr. Bradley having each other. It was amazing for me to see two Black men in America this day, the way this world is, that could truly be in competition with each other, but they were there speaking highly of each other. And honestly, one thing that I noticed was a lot, being in the business with Mr. Bradley, listening to him. I've heard him speak a couple of times, listened to him on YouTube. And then I go and hear Mr. Bugs, who is very well established, and he's saying the same thing that our CEO is already saying. So it made me even more understand that your circle's important, but your corner is even more important, because if you got the right people, they'll put you in the right rooms with the right people, and say the right things. Your name will be spoken in rooms that you're not even in, right? With your corner, but your circle, they just try to latch on. So that was another. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's actually something I wrote down in my notes. Your corner versus your circle. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. Now, listen, there are a million different levels or deeper levels that we can get. That might be a whole nother training, Mr. Lillard. Circles and corners. We might have to go deeper into that one. What we're going to do now is transition into the process, because a lot of what Halton Bugs and this 7-figure school, what they was basically talking about was the process. He said at one point, you shouldn't be asking me the daggone how, because you know the how, right? The question should be, it's like the why, basically, right? So why are we doing what we're doing? Why haven't you fell in love with the process, the everyday, mundane, those small things, right? So we're going to play a quick video for you guys that talks about the process. And then the three of us, we're going to chop it up real quick. And if you guys out there listening got any comments, obviously drop your comments and your takeaways from this process video real quick. Let's bring it up.
Success is like a quiet daily set of tasks. Real small. It's like that quiet walk to the gym. Some empty ass gym late at night. Over and over and over. Or as I sit there studying other great people and then comparing it with what I'm doing and looking at it. Over and over and over. Doing 20 minutes of quiet meditation a day. Over and over and over. Making the choice to eat foods that enhance my brain neurotransmitters. Over and over and over. It's a very quiet process where you're just drawing your state from within yourself, doing these like simple little tasks, but finding love in those simple little tasks. It's not this big rah-rah speech where you do this one thing and something big happens.
When we look at the leading sales professionals of the world, when we look at the best business people, we say she's gifted. She's smarter than me. She just somehow knows more than me. She's got a better education. She had an easier background. She got lucky. You've heard the cliche because it's true. The harder I work, the luckier I get. I'm an ordinary person, but I focused on my craft. I had a burning desire to be excellent. I love what I do. Sharing in my books and speaking is my oxygen. It's my DNA. 4 in the morning I get up and I'm working on my craft because I love it. I love it.
The process is just as important as the actual prize, because the process is going to make you, the deeper the process, the greater the reward. A real man in the dark, when nobody's watching, he putting in work. Because he loves the process.
Everybody wants to be a champion, but nobody's willing to put in the work that it takes to be a champion. Everybody wants to hold up the trophy and say, man, I did it, but nobody's willing to put in the work that it takes to do it. I love the process. I love the thought of working for what I want. And I firmly believe you're never supposed to wish for it more than you're willing to work for it.
The 9-to-5 person, they make a sale and they're excited. When you get to my level and you get one thing, you try to get to the next level, then you try to get to the next level, then you try to get to the next level. A true hunter hunts. A true hunter's goal is not the prize. A true hunter's goal is to hunt. That's what they live for. Because real lions like to hunt. They love the process just as much as they love the prize. I understand it is in the process that you get better. It's in the process that don't nobody know your name, and 5 years later, you're one of the best in the world. Why? The process. I don't get up at 3 o'clock in the morning because I'm broke. Then why do you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning? Because I ain't finished yet.
Success.
Woo. That was deep. Was there some nuggets dropped right there? Listen, I got plenty. We want to hear from the guests first, Mr. Lillard. Jessica, go ahead and just give us your takeaway. Give us some nuggets, something that you just heard about the process. And I can already tell that you are the type of person that's in love with the process, but drop some nuggets for us.
You gotta love the process. Something I'm living by right now is, life is not the destination, it's the journey, right? And that journey is a part of the process, right? So, because if we got to our destination every single time, what are we living for? What are you really working towards? Something he said, again, I'm reading that book, The Distinctions Between the Millionaires and the Middle Class. It's a mindset thing. It's how you do things. He even talked about in this video, having a routine, getting up in the morning. Every morning I'm up at 5:30 because one, I spend my time with my creator and I do my prayer, my devotion, but that's the time before everybody gets up and I'm able to, my child's still asleep. I'm able to set my goals in my day and how I want things to look. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I love to read. When you read about people who have reached certain levels of success, they have a strict routine. Not because, the main thing is because so they can know how to use their time wisely. What you put your energy into is where you're going to see, and that's word. That's literally in the word. Wherever you put your energy into, that's what's going to reap. And in the morning, I just that's an opportunity to set the standard for what the day is going to look like. Every week, every month has its problems, but if you learn to take it one day at a time, you can be successful. Another thing he said is you got to love the process, right? You got to love it because every day is not going to be, you're not going to be signing up 5 and 10 people every day. Sometimes you may go a couple days where you don't even have anybody to pitch the business to, or you don't have anybody to share, the hardships, or honestly, what I've been running into is the naysayers, people who, oh, that multi-level marketing, why would you want, and that takes energy to combat those thoughts and honestly combat those mindsets that people have had for years and years. And then here I am, this young girl, whatever, and here I am trying to tell you something different. So that takes energy, but once you figure out that that's just how people are, you can't change people. They're going to be who they are. That's just the process. But you learn to build rapport with people. And what I love about being in this position of being able to, one, help people start businesses and offer them opportunities for their family is that I get to learn about people, right? Everybody has a story. We've all been through some stuff. Some people's story a little bit more deeper than others, but at the end of the day, we've all been through something. And so when I say to them, if you want to work a 9 to 5, we need people that work at Starbucks. We need people to work the registers at Walmart. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want more for yourself and you want to have, for me, prosperity is time freedom, being able to pick up my daughter from school when I want to, or when I'm going to California tomorrow. And I just bought my ticket not even 3 hours ago. And, that's the luxury that you have when you're an independent business owner, because you don't have to punch a clock. You can move at your own pace, but it's a process and you have to be committed to the process. And that video is just again, I'm looking to put this nugget out there. When we went to the Blackout, I watched for the first time, I was introduced to that Art Williams video, Just Do It. And, although that the overall messaging is something that you hear, is just, hearing him. I listened to that video this morning, actually. But sometimes you just need to pick me up to say, if you want it, just do it. What are you waiting for? There's nobody holding you back but yourself. And a lot of times it's in your mind. Get out, go to a Starbucks. Honestly, a lot of the people that I've introduced to the business, I've been doing my normal daily routine. I'm not doing anything extra. I work from home. I work on my own schedule. So instead of working at my kitchen table, I'll go to Panera or go to we have this restaurant called First Watch in Maryland that has a community table where I already know people are going to sit down. They're going to eat, then they're going to move on. They're going to eat. I don't have to do nothing. I get coffee. I have my little MacBook and I just sit there. But it's the process. And when I began to realize that, this is my lifestyle. I don't have to punch a clock anymore. I don't have to be at an office, be at a desk. So maximize that time. I took my daughter to the skating ring, had my little, it was multi-level marketing and Facebook book I'm reading in the skating ring. People, first people see you with books. That's foreign, right? So a book that turns pages. They're like, oh, what's that? what are you reading? And then I start talking to people, and it's just amazing. But when you look at the process, right? I didn't have to like put on a suit and a tie and do nothing. I was skating, living my best life, enjoying time with my daughter, and I'm still making money. You know what I'm saying? So, and making connections. So it's the process, man. I could go on, but
Nah, that was great. That was great. That was absolutely what the people needed to hear, especially given the fact that, you know, you're not even 90 days in yet. Mr. Lillard, takeaways from the video, any nuggets that the people said in that you want to drop on there?
Well, Jessica, it's just so refreshing listening to her speak, man. It's exciting that, you know, it's, you know, we now, like, whoever's on here tonight, you know that there are people out here like her that are looking, and all we gotta do is, like she said, and she's just sitting at a Starbucks or wherever, First Watch, reading a book, right? Successful people do what unsuccessful people aren't willing to do. So she put herself in position, and people saying they can't find people, but there's people all around us. All we got to do is get out there and go position ourselves. But one of the things that I got from the video, a gentleman said, don't wish for it more than you work for it. And I think, in my fact, I don't think, you know, I've been in multi-level marketing for 20 plus years. And I remember my first mentor, his name was Al Fratantono, 1997. And I went to a training of his, and he wrote on the board the 80-20 rule. And he said 80%, and he wrote on the board, you know, we didn't have computers and stuff back then, but he wrote on the board, he said that this is 80%, this is 20%. And he said,
chalkboard, wasn't it?
I'm sorry. Yes, it was a chalkboard. Yes. So, but he was using not a chalkboard. It was a easel type of board. You could use one of those wipe off markers. Anyway, he said this. He said these 80% of people, they're wishers. 20%, right, are doers. So it's 20% is going to do it. 80% are going to be wishing. Then 80% is going to do 20%. That's just the way this business is. And some people get involved in this opportunity because they think it's a get rich quick scheme, right? Or they want to get rich quick, but when they find out that it's not, then they become, you know, insecure about becoming successful. And this is not that. This is an opportunity for you to. This is a career-oriented opportunity. In fact, here's what I know, and you can look it up. You know, when people, like, if you're brand new and you're watching this tonight, multi-level marketing has created more millionaires than any other industry in the world. There are more people making six figures from home and multi-level marketing than people are making six figures in corporate America. Look it up. I can't make that up. And so when I took a look at this over 2 decades ago, I said, wait a second. I got my ladder up the wrong side of the building, right? And so Jessica, I'm just so happy for you. It's the top 10 distinctions between millionaires and middle class by Keith Cameron Smith. That's the book that you're reading. And continue doing that, because what you're doing is you're putting yourself in position to be able to work with many. And see, people want to build a big team, but they're not reading. And if you're not reading, you're not leading, right? And earners are what? They're learners. So, and you're doing the right thing. You're attending all the events that you qualify for, that you can, right? And you're going to continue learning. And then watch this. As you begin to talk to people about your business, it's called the law of attraction. You're going to become attractive in the way you speak, your energy. See, that's another thing. Some of us, our energy is low because we're not reading. We wonder why everybody we talk to is saying no. If you went out and my mentor told me, go out and get 200 no's, then tell me if the business works or not. And if you've gotten 200 no's, it's not the business, it's you. Back to you, Eric.
So you're not in the business yet. One of the notes or takeaways I got, you guys said some of the ones, but I think it was E.T. that said, it's in the process that you get better, right? So we talking about people enjoying the process, loving the process, trusting the process. He said it's actually in this process that you get better, right? And you got people, especially brand new people, right? But you got people who've been around for years who are trying to figure out, well, how do I get better? Or how do I get like this person or like that person? Or that person speaks so good, I can never do that. Or how does that person do 3 ways like that? I can never do that. But it's in the process that you get better. I tell people this like tying your shoes. I can't think of one kid ever, and if it was you, you're weird, right? But I don't know the kid that enjoyed off the rip learning how to tie their shoes, right? No one wanted to sit there and do the thing I don't want to hear your nursery rhyme about the loop and the bow and the however. I don't know a kid like again, but that process. After I don't know how long, what, a week, maybe? Is that too long? I don't know. It's been a minute. But after a certain amount of time of doing it over and over and over and over again, you just get used to the process. So much so that I tied my shoes the other day in the dark while I was asleep. It was really quite simple. I didn't even need to know what I was doing because I trust in the process that I've learned over the course of the years. So real quick, let's talk about over the next couple of minutes some of the things that are in this process that we need to fall in love with, right? Because some of us, our expectations are caught up on the goal instead of the process, right? We're thinking about the end game instead of the process. That's where it's the other note or takeaway. I think ET said something about hunters or lions. They just love to hunt, right? Sometimes they'll hunt it and kill it and they ain't even going to eat it. It was fun just hunting it, right? Just the process. So let's talk about some of those things within this business that people need to know real time. What are some of those processes that they need to learn, enjoy, and trust in that process? I'll go first. One of the first things they need to learn, enjoy, and trust is in the simple PS3 and follow-up system. That right there is just the process. I didn't say 1,700 people was going to join the second they went through the PS3, but you got to get better at that part of the process. Jessica, go ahead and give us something that you have found within the 90 days of being in this industry, what you believe is one of the things or key items in the process.
You got to learn to fall in love with learning, right? Because at the end of the day, when you stop going to school, you don't stop learning. Like just because you graduated from high school, you got your undergrad, master's. Millionaires are always learning. I know I was reading something that said most millionaires read an average of 30 minutes or 10 pages a day of something, right? But why is that? Because there's always more information out there. And so what I'm noticing is too, when I first signed up, the first couple of weeks, I listened to the presentation once, but it's like the more I listen to it, the more I'm inviting people and I'm listening just because they're on. I'm learning more and more each time, right? So like the compensation plan, like my first time listening to it, I wasn't listening for that in particular. I was listening for more. So what's the how? How do you do this? How does this, or the why, whatever. But now that I've listened to the presentation, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 times at this point, because I'm hopping on every Wednesday and, and listening. And now I can tell you the compensation plan and that clicks. It makes sense. So you have to love to learn. And even reading the books, like, I've done other multi-level marketing. I actually did one when I was in college, and I did another one, right before beginning of my early 20s when it just wasn't the right time in my life. But one of the things that I did learn is that, I read that GoPro book by Eric Worre back then. When I read it this time, I got so many different things from it because I was in a different place in life. So kind of like the Bible, you read one verse one time or you hear a preacher preach it, but then another season in your life, you read it, you get another whole complete new revelation from that same exact verse. So you have to love to learn, and you cannot never think you know too much. I've started business. I could be like, oh, well, I don't need to attend 7-figure success school. I did because I learned so much, and in the most humblest way possible. Even when I am a multi-millionaire, I'm still going to learn because there's always new things coming out. So fall in love with learning because then it's going to take you so far.
I got to jump in here, Eric. I got to jump in here. Listen.
We waiting for yours.
So watch this. So she said, reading 10 pages to 15 pages a night, right? That's what you learn that. Watch this. This past Monday, and this is how on point she is, right? So every Monday I do what's called Mindset Mondays for our team. And so I talked about leveraging your business. Number 8, read 10 to 15 pages a night. This Monday. This is amazing that someone who's been here for 90 days understands that, this business is simple. It's not easy. But if you do the watch this, there are basic things that we ask everyone to do. If you just do the basics, you'll have success. Because once you learn the basics, now you can teach the basics. This business is all about duplication and helping people learn that you don't have to know everything. I got that in here too somewhere. That's number 2. You don't have to know everything to work your business, right? We are a team of people who are working together as one unit. And you already have embraced the process on the basics. And so continue to do what you're doing and continue to keep that energy and pass it on to others. You're going to be a 1-star director before you know it.
Speak it. Listen, I believe if you put it out there, manifestation is real as well. You have to speak things into existence. There's power in the tongue. So, my first time meeting Mr. Bradley, I told him, I was like, listen, I just got introduced to your company. I was like, so I can't really speak to that much, but I'm committed to it. Once I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it. He was like, okay. So when he saw me this weekend, he was like, okay, you are a woman of your word. I am a woman of my word. I don't know how fast, because I don't know the plan. I just know that there is a plan. And I just got to walk in it and do what I got to do and showing up. I just feel like if I show up, you be in the right place at the right time. You just never know who you're entertaining. So you just got to be available.
Mr. Lillard, now you got to answer the question.
What was the question again? I'm so excited about. What's the question again?
So the question that the people are waiting for you to answer is, we understand we got to do the process and we got to do the basics, right? She said one of the key elements in this process that we're telling people to do and trust is to get your butts into a book and read and or listen. I suggest Audible. If you're on the go like me, you get the Audible app and you listen. So her suggestion part of this process is reading, right? So they need an actual takeaway, practical nugget. What are you telling them that they need to do specifically in the process?
Well, I think you mentioned learning the PS3. I think that's vital to the business. And so one of the things that I want to say is you have to find yourself a mentor. Find yourself someone that you can plug into, that you can talk to on a regular basis in the business, so that when you're like, if you're going through a bumpy road, you can contact them and they can pull you off they can lead you down the right path, and not being afraid to ask for help. That's major. A lot of people are not asking for help and they're sitting on their business, not knowing what to do, afraid to ask for help because they don't want to look like they don't know what they're doing. And it's okay not to know. Like, just for instance, I just forgot the question. I mean, hey, so I don't mind asking what was the question.
It's all good. It's all good.
Some of y'all would say I'm up to age. Yes, I'm 54, but I still look good. You know what I mean? But anyway, long story short, though, just find someone. See, Mr. Scott and myself, we talk like daily. Eric and I talk at least once a week, and they keep me motivated, right? Plus, he's a 2-star. Mr. Scott's a 4-star. I'm a 1-star. So guess what? That's where I plan on going. So I stay in both of their hip pockets because that's where I'm headed to. And so if you're talking to someone that's not motivated, guess what? It's going to rub off. So one of the main things you want to do is find a mentor, find a partner, someone, a sideline partner, upline, downline, someone who's positive, that's moving, that you admire and that you can, you can fill yourself up with positivity in your business.
Okay, but now let's think deeper. We want people to come away with something else, something that they can do daily, right? Because we're saying it's a process. So there's a whole separate process in finding a mentor and a coach, right? So what can we come up with? We know we should be doing the PS3 as daily as possible in our regimen, right? We should be adding reading daily in this process. And interestingly enough, these things that we're naming, they don't equal like 1 + 1 = 2. It isn't PS3 plus reading equals new business partner, right? The equation isn't that simple, right? It's a bit longer and complex than that. And as a matter of fact, it's one of them things like the Matrix where, you know what, you just need to know what the numbers say and continue to add people to this equation. So let's give them something else that's daily. You can jump in, Jessica, as well.
I got something while I'm thinking about it. In the book Go Pro, it says to add 2 new people to your list every day.
Prospecting.
You should be adding 2 new people to your list on a daily basis. All right. And so if you're running into, I talk to everybody I know, most of the time, that means you talk to 3 to 5 people in your circle. They all say no. And so now nobody is doing the business. But if you're adding 2 new people, right, to your list on a daily basis, and there are people everywhere, I said this earlier, Instagram, Facebook, grocery store, Walmart, it doesn't matter, wherever you go, right? And Jessica's she's proven that she met someone out and about. And so at the end of the day, you should be adding to your list daily. That's one of the most important things in prospecting as well.
Adding to your list daily. You got anything new, Justin?
And I will say, this whole being a business owner in general, not just this business, but in general, it's a certain mindset. So you have to feed yourself things daily. Like Latasha actually shares the motivational pill in the morning. It's an awesome opportunity every Monday through Friday. You get on that call and it's like, it sets the tone for the day. And usually we're either reading a book or we're, different quotes or we talked about, I think James Baldwin. We talked about a lot of things on these calls, but it sets the tone for the day. So each day, and sometimes I have to just get in the mirror and say, girl, you got this today. Like you can do this. Like you are already a millionaire. You just got to walk in it. And I just have to affirm each day. And these are the little things that I feel like if you keep eating, you're going to get full eventually. Right. So, because every day not going to be gold and every day not going to be good. But, I used to say, storing up prayers. You got to store up affirmations too, because some days you're going to have to pick those affirmations up and be like, okay, today ain't a good day. So let me reach back where on the good day, when the day was good, what was I doing? How did I feel? What was that? How was I feeling at that moment? And each day feed yourself a little something and work in your business every day. As I mentioned, I have a bookstore. I do Airbnb. I have Turo. I'm a mom. My calendar is set up. Even if I only can do 10 minutes to Planet Marketing, if I can only, when I first got started having to do those trainings, I didn't have a lot of time to sit down in front of my computer and focus. But when I had my AirPod in, I'm cooking, I'm listening. But even if I did it for just 10 minutes, and that's all my businesses, I have to give many things my attention, but I prioritize what's important. And each day I'm committed to getting a little something. And again, some days I spend today, I spent 4 or 5 hours in Planet Marketing because I have clients I'm trying to book for. And like I said, I've met somebody at jury duty today that I'm trying to get her signed up. So I, spent time today, but tomorrow I'm going to California. So I know I won't be able to commit so much time, but I will commit at least 10 minutes if I don't do anything but read a book or read some pages on the airplane or go into my Planet Marketing back office. Because again, being new, I don't know all the nooks and crannies of where the marketing material is or where, honestly, we have Mr. Bradley has set up where we have trainings almost every day. Almost every day there's something if you really want to just plug in. And so figuring out every Wednesday is the Platinum Wednesday call. There's something on Tuesdays. There's something on Saturdays. And again, every day I'm not sitting in front of my computer, but I'm putting it in my ear, just getting a little something. And I got that actually from my sponsor, Latasha. Like at one point before I became a part of the business, she was trying to, recruit me. And she had me in these text messages. She would send a text every morning to the point I put her on mute. I was like, stop texting me. But now I appreciate it so much because even when I'm like, I don't got nothing to do today, then her little text will come through. Okay, guys, let's get it going. And I'm like, okay, that was what I needed for today. It may not be the same for tomorrow, but doing a little bit each day will take you so far. And again, I'm just getting started and I've learned so much, but I've committed my planner 10 minutes each day, minimum. That's just the minimum to Planet Marketing. And I can only imagine where it's going to go. So every day you got to do something.
Now, I got so much I want to say, but I promise you, look, and I know Mr. Lillard feels the exact same way I do, and you only been in business for 90 days on here talking like a little mini me and a mini Mr. Lillard out here preaching. I was looking for some money to cash app you or pass, as they say to us, Mr. Lillard, pass the collection plate.
Pass plate.
And see, y'all don't understand why we've been saying before I even met her that being in business is 90% mental, 10% everything else. Because everything she talked about, ladies and gentlemen, first started with your mindset, how you think. And I don't even know how old this young lady is, but I promise you I'm having conversations with men and women 2 and 3 times your age who haven't quite grabbed it yet, that it's the mindset. And I promise you, in the great book that we're talking about as well, it paraphrasingly says, listen, the farmer that waits until the perfect day to plant ain't never going to plant at the end of the day. And what you're talking about, young lady, is the first of mental steps in action that is required to be successful in business, period. Did you hear her, Mr. Lillard? She named like a Jamaican, like 19 things. She sounded like me. 19 different things and gave zero excuse for feeding individually these things, right? My kid's going to get 15 minutes. Such and such going to get 10 minutes. This business getting, you're prioritizing and you're putting stuff in y'all can't see it, in the calendar, right? So that you can manage your day. And 90% of you business folks listening to us now are managing your day with your mind. And you're trying to figure out, I'm going to get on that thing if I can find the extra 15 minutes. You ain't never finding the extra 15 minutes.
There's a reason for that, though. And the reason why they won't find the 15 minutes because, it's not their business is not a priority. There's other priorities they have in place versus the business. And so they're not willing to give up. In order to go up, you got to give up. Yeah. So there's some things you got to give up to go up.
What are you willing to give up?
Yeah, you got to see. There's some things you got to give up a teeny bit of sleep. You got to give up a little bit of TV or a lot of TV, predicated on how much TV you watch. You got to give up some happy hour, right? You got to give up hanging out, smoking cigars with the guys, right? And so, and you just have to give up doing things that's not going to move the needle in your business.
Real quick, how many years did Holton Buggs say he gave up listening to music?
You were you in my head just now? I was like, he actually said, and I was like, because the fact that he said that he was he has his own record label, and he's like, I stopped listening to music. Like, you have your own label and you stop listening. That says something, right? I don't remember exactly how was it 6 years?
4 years.
4 years. I knew it was some years that he stopped
listening to period for 4 years. Only was listening to audibles, and I think he said like $70,000 on audibles and trainings and put them all onto an iPod, or something or another, and then shared the wealth because he spent $70,000 on it, on the training material and information and videos and books, and then shared it with Donald Bradley the same way we all collectively share with every new business partner the 5 core books, because we understand, we call them core books for a reason, right? Core books, and the books are designed to help you professionally with this industry, to help you personally with your life, and to help you financially with your pockets, right? Well, it's a real rounded book. Matter of fact, it's just at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, whoo, y'all don't get it, but this young lady gets it.
And the crazy thing is, in this generation, everything you need is in the palm of your hand. Like, you know, even the books I'm talking about, all of them can be bought audio. You don't have to sit and commit, honestly, a whole lot of time. And, you know, he said, what are you willing to give up? You know, I'm willing to give up, you know, hang with my friends. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, is that we all are working for one goal, right? For me, I know for me, my goal is to live in eternity, right? Like my goal is to live again, right? But I realized that during this process, during this journey, you have to commit to standing for something. And for me, I'm committed to being a millionaire, because not for myself, because I have a kid, I want to leave a legacy, but I want to be able to feed back. And now I'm learning that if you say I don't know something, that I tell my staff when I worked in the hospital, there's no reason for you to say I don't know, because Google University and YouTube University is right here, and everything you need is right here. And if you can get on social media and scroll, and you can literally go in your settings and figure out how much time you spend on social media. iPhone tells you you've been on Facebook 5 hours today. And I gave up social media for all of March, April, and some of May. I'm back on now because it's beneficial for the business, but I'm intentional about when I'm spending my time there. Because if not, I got an audiobook. I got something that's feeding my soul and my spirit and my mind, and not just, you know, random stuff. Don't get me wrong. I used to like my Ratchet TV and stuff, and I still do, but right now I just don't have time for it. And my thing is, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. So I don't need to watch your story on TV because I got my own.
She said. Now I'm serious. It's. I know we're gone a little bit past the hour, but listen, she said the word intentional. Like newbies, you know what I mean? It's very rare that you hear a brand new business partner say, you know, I'm intentional about my business. Because guess what? If you're not intentional about your business, you're intentionally helping somebody do their business.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Mr. Lillard, I think we have found a new recurring guest on What's the Word Wednesday.
She messed up.
I don't know who team she on. We about to have to snatch you up. We can't cross
at least one
you up or anything.
At least one time a month, have a jump on in there.
You know.
I got you. It's so much in me that I'm willing to share. You know, this is what I do from my end of business. But I know that's why I would be a great person in this company as well, because I build teams. I know how to do. I love to travel, so building teams just brought.
And you live in Maryland?
I live in Beltsville, Maryland.
Man,
you wish you had met her first, huh?
Man.
You just wish you was there and was first. But see, right in somebody's backyard, you know, there's someone that's working. That person is when you know what I heard too. And yeah, we got all the time. Y'all hanging around with us. I'm recommending you guys tell your business partners to check out this replay, right? Mm-hmm. But what I heard you say was that Latasha was bothering you for a little bit before you got started. You know, she hit you up. It sounded like, as we said earlier, see, that's a part of the process.
It
right?
is. It is.
Earn that PS3 and follow up. It's peak, share the interest, 3-way call, follow up. Fortune's in the follow up. And Latasha, somebody must have told her that the fortune was in the follow up, and because you probably told her no, or you ghosted her, or maybe I'll think about it. Took a couple trips in the meantime, in between time, and finally got back to it. That's what happened, ain't it?
Yeah, you know what? But everything, that's why you have to plant the seed and then you water it, and then eventually you'll see the harvest. Even if you plant a seed in somebody, you may not see the harvest, but somebody else is going to harvest at some point anyway. So Tasha, she planted the seed. Tasha's been in the company maybe a little over a year now, and we already have another business together. So I'm seeing her work. We're friends, live in the same neighborhood, you know. So I'm seeing her work, and you know, honestly, I didn't get the normal bring in. I was just like, you know what? I don't know what you're doing, but I just want to do it. Like, you traveling all over the world, you're taking your son, doing this, What you doing? Sign me up, you know. And I didn't even come to an interest meeting. I just signed up, and then she was like, when she signed me up, I had access to the back office, and I just started playing with it and doing the trainings and stuff. And It was literally that easy.
So look, I gotta interrupt you. I can't let you go over. You can't just gloss over that part because we got people listening, right? So I heard you say before you signed up, she was reaching out to you. You was maybe, but you said something like you were seeing something. So what were you seeing in her or of her, and how were you able to see it? Was this live or was this social media or a combination of both?
Both. So we're business partners. We have a consulting firm together. And it actually everything comes full circle. So she was working and we were working on our business, but then she signed up for the travel business because that was her portion of our company, right? And so she started over a year ago, but she was traveling. So I'm calling her, girl, let's meet today. We got to do this business meeting. And she's like, oh, well, I'm going to Jamaica. Oh, well, I'm going to here. I'm going to Dubai. Even she had just went to Dubai. She was back on Thursday. Then me and her flew out together on Friday to Atlanta this past weekend. So, I'm seeing her. She's posting pictures. And again, our kids are really close. And so her son Mike will be like, oh, I want Peyton to go. And I'm like, where are y'all going now, Tasha? You always doing something. So she was like, well, y'all should come with us. And you get paid to book. So become a travel agent. And as she was explaining it to me, I was like, well, if I'm going to do the travel agent part and it's only $20 more to build a company and have that piece, it just made sense. So we just started doing it, but I saw her in person and I live my life through her sometimes on Facebook. And then I'd be like, dang, I should have went with Tasha. I should have just went. And she's like, girl, I didn't pay, but such and such and such and such. Next time up. So
I can tell y'all friends because you sound just like her too.
Look, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because Tasha, she loves business, honey. She will talk about, like, sometimes I have to say, girl, we is having dinner. Don't get off that phone, get off planning marketing, get off Intel travel, tell the people you're gonna call them back. Let's eat. But it's addicting. You get
business is in her.
Mm-hmm. But she's doing so well. That's the other thing. She's been in a little over a year. She's already a gold star. Working towards director. So it's possible. And we are normal single moms out here working full time. She works a full-time job. She's in the military. I have 3 businesses, and we're just doing this. It's like you said, it's the process. It's life, and it's just how you choose to live it and what you want your life to look like. We have chosen, and even for me and Tasha, I have to leave a legacy for my child. That was the other thing that caught my ear was I work for corporate companies and I've never had them tell me, if you start making X, Y, and Z amount for my company, your child will always get this, as long as this business is in place. I worked for a company for over 11 years. When I left due to the pandemic, I left with nothing. When I tell you nothing, and I had given them 11 good years of my life. I had a 401k, but my life insurance policies, my medical insurance, all that went away when I resigned. To know that if I get to a certain level and no matter whether I continue working or if I just stop and don't do another thing, my kid can make a residual check every month. Like, as a mother, why would you not sign up for that? It's unheard of. And so that's my goal. I plan to go further, but I need to get to that place where I can sign that form that says Planet Marketing will pay Peyton X, Y, and Z amount of money, no matter what her mommy's doing with her life. So that's my goal, my why.
Fire.
This ain't fire. This is an inferno.
Inferno. Okay. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to keep beating up this dead horse. At the end of the day, she killed it. She roasted it. And we might even be blessed to have her back when we're here again on June 15th. We're not going to be here on the June 1st. My daughter's graduating. So we'll be tied up all day on that Wednesday, but we're right back here June 15th. If you're watching this replay, go ahead and hashtag replay. We're recommending that you share this with your business partners, old and new, right? Especially some of them old ones, they're stuck in their ways and they need to be inspired by what they just heard from young Jessica, right? We're going to have Jessica, you're about to do a tour now, inspirational tour
I'm here, and listen, I will speak to it because it's such an awesome opportunity, and I don't have to make it up. It's no script. Like you just sent me this invite like 30 minutes before this call, so this is where I'm at with it, though. I love it, so I'm here for
it. We appreciate you, Mr. Lillard. You got any last remarks before we close it out?
Yeah, I just want to say it's an honor to even be on this panel on this evening, and have someone that just brings fire and inferno, brings tsunami, whatever you want to call it. I feel strongly that she's going to be one of our top leaders in our organization in a short period of time. Continue to keep the same fire, same energy, and I look forward to you being back on here as well too. So I'll close with this: we can make excuses, or we can make money, you all, but we can't do both.
You absolutely can't do both. My closing, I don't have a closing nugget of remark. Something else that Jessica said that you guys may have missed. I listened real well, and she kind of just, shot this one out there. Jessica said that when she was first watching those presentations that we do, that she was kind of just watching it. But then it went from just watching it to now listening to it with the aha mind, which means that Jessica is mentally preparing herself to even be able to present this presentation, because it hasn't even been 90 days, ladies and gentlemen. And I heard her say that she even knows the comp plan. And there's some people.
Yes, she did say that.
They, number one, that'd be like, how that comp plan work again? And y'all know some of y'all out there that them numbers get to tricking you because you haven't gone through the process of watching that presentation with the expectation that you learn something. So that's my closing remark. We're going to see you guys on the 15th. You guys have a blessed and prosperous